Well, hello YouTube, and a warm welcome to the Essentially Crypto channel. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm your host. And today we are going to look at whether or not a Golden Dragon Girl is actually better to be holding than a Todd Batman. Now, I know you're thinking, well, it's an obvious answer, but not necessarily, and we're going to get into that a little bit later on. But before we do, let's bring down that screen so that we can do a little bit of housekeeping in the world of crypto today and find out what's going on. So here's the first thing, this is the first thing up, and that is the Lost Donkeys. Really cool project. As you can see, you've got all your little donkeys there frolicking in the field. Basically, those little donkeys, they go to play a play-to-earn game where you can earn carrots and that kind of thing. Basically, it was something that I joined up for quite a while back. It's on the Treasuredale ecosystem, and the way it seems to work on there is a lot of the mints are free, and once you get the free mint, then it has the potential to go up, obviously. Potential to go down as well, just like any other crypto stuff. But it is a free mint. If you manage to get the whitelist, there's 8,055 of them only, I believe. So I was lucky enough that I did a little balloon donkey, and I managed to win like a competition for that. So I got myself a free mint, which I'm going to be able to mint today. So the time is really here. If you want to know more about the Lost Donkeys, I will leave the details in the comments below, and I'll let you know which donkey I get once I manage to mint it. So all excited. Let's move on to the next thing. And that is this. MetaVerse. Mark Zuckerberg forced to scrap futuristic MetaVerse plans after $10 billion loss. It sounds exciting. It sounds like the whole MetaVerse is going to be completely and utterly scrapped. But it's not. This was just the sun making a big meal out of nothing, really. This was sent incidentally by Frog Robbie, so thank you very much to Frog Robbie for sending all these details across. But yeah, basically it's saying that MetaVerse is going to be scrapped, that kind of thing. But if you actually read the article, it basically just says that some of the bits that won't be in there or are going to be postponed or not actually fully scrapped. So I think, you know, the MetaVerse details are still on. I think there's still going to be a major MetaVerse coming with the plans that Facebook have got, obviously, and that in turn is going to bring in more users to, in general, metaverses like Veveverse and all that kind of thing. So, you know, it's all exciting stuff. Progress is still moving on. It's just that obviously they've got to sell newspapers. They've got to have their own, you know, what's it called, taglines to try and bring people in to read the articles and that kind of stuff. And of course there has been a lot of losses because of the fact that you know, crypto and stocks and everything is down at the moment, isn't it? So therefore Facebook have lost a lot of money just from the price of stock alone. So but yeah, let's move on, shall we? That's the thing about Facebook, and thank you very much once again to Frog Robbie to send me those details. So there was a Randy interview the other day. Randy interview, that sounds weird, doesn't it? There was an interview by Randy Chavez, real Randy Chavez. That's the one. I'll get my teeth in. The real Randy Chavez did an interview with David Yu. It was absolutely brilliant. There's some really good stuff in there. I'm not going to go over the whole interview. Just going to pick out a few things for me. About 1700, there was a thing about Ron English. He pointed to the thing above him and he said that that's coming soon because of the fact that the web app is going to facilitate that. So basically he was saying that when the web app is all sorted completely, you're going to be able to buy the Ron English rabbit grin with the physical and the digital collectible all at the same time, basically. So he said that's coming soon. He literally said that's really, really soon. So, you know, not sure exactly when, didn't give a date, but obviously, you know, that's the way it is. 2459, round about there, he was saying that May is not over. So this was inferring again about Star Wars is coming again. I think Randy asked the same sort of questions I asked Reese the other day about the fact of, are we going to have other Star Wars things in the app? Or is it just that Star Wars comic at the beginning of the month? And Reese said that it was kicking off the Star Wars month, and David pretty much confirmed it by saying May is not over yet. But again, could be trolling, but I think we're going to see something, obviously for Obi-Wan or something like that. 3752, blocked users. David himself is sorting out the blocked users. He did say that he is going to go through the emails individually and he's going to write to you individually to find out what he can do for you, essentially, and to help you out. That is the blocked users, so hopefully that makes you a lot happier. And for 4703, he was talking about the tier 1 companies. Now, Ecomi, they did their AMA the next day, which we'll touch on in just a second, and they were talking about the different things, and one of the things they focused on again was the tier 1 companies, saying they haven't announced all of the tier 1 companies. So therefore, you know, there's a lot of tier 1 companies they haven't announced, which is really exciting because you see the tier 1 companies we've already got, like your Disneys and your, you know, the Marvel, which obviously sort of ties in together, but they're still sort of two completely companies in a way. Your DC, all of these are tier 1 companies, and there's a lot more to be announced. So what can they be? Who knows? But it's very exciting stuff nonetheless, and it just proves how early you really are in the app. In the updates themselves, it was Reese and Alex after a couple of false starts on Twitter, because Twitter loves to rug you. I was doing AMAs the other day for my project that I'm involved in, and it rugged me twice as well, so it was an absolute nightmare, and you feel like a lemon, but unfortunately it's just the way Twitter is, unfortunately. But yeah, once we finally got through, I think it was the third time lucky, they managed to actually complete the AMA, which was pretty cool. There was some good stuff in the AMA. They talked about the Omi Bridge, they talked about Epico Regal, the AMA that's coming up next week, so that is incoming as well, and they'll talk more about how it's going to be a play to earn, how Omi's going to burn and all that kind of thing. I'm a little bit unsure. I was reading the white paper. I'm not actually sure whether or not it's going to be like the top 10 people each month who's going to earn, or whether it's going to be an actual play to earn where when you're in the game and you're focused in, you just grind hard and you'll make some money from it, or whether or not you actually have to play to win to earn, if that makes sense. So, you know, we'll find out all that information probably in the Epico Regal AMA. Buy Omi through Coinbase Wallet, you can do that now as well. This was the big thing, the Omi staking on Ascendex, 10% APY. Absolutely fantastic. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people out there who are going to want to stake. There's a couple of things you've got to bear in mind. Firstly, Ascendex is not open to everyone. People in the USA, a lot of you cannot use it. I wouldn't suggest using a VPN. I don't think there's going to be any way around it, but you know, you can try, I guess. But I believe they're quite strict on these kind of things. So therefore, just using a VPN might get you in trouble, and you might get your Omi locked up or something, and you can't get in again. So you know, I wouldn't necessarily risk it. Also, you've got to bear in mind in hackers as well, not your keys, not your crypto. So therefore, if you put your Omi on this platform and they do get hacked, then it's kind of tough, really. That's the way it works. So therefore, make sure that you are happy that that is going to be the case. You don't want to lose all your Omi, obviously, but at the same time, you might want to make some staking rewards. It is 10%, so it's pretty cool. And obviously, you're not going to get those same staking rewards in the app. Incidentally, Hello K, Surprised Cat on Twitter, has got a little thread, and he was talking about why you cannot stake in the Veve app itself to get more Omi. So he talks about what you can get, which is going to be things like extra master collector points, that kind of thing, and also things like you know, badges and blah blah blah, whatever it is they're going to do. We don't know the exact details yet until they release it, but by staking you're going to get rewards, you're going to get abilities to be able to get more collectibles and stuff like that, and that's the thing. It's going to be more about in-app rewards, and the reason they're doing that is purely because of regulations and that sort of stuff. And obviously Ecomi are very good on that. They try to toe the line as best as possible. There's a lot of projects out there who don't, and then they end up failing, and hopefully Ecomi is not going to fail, and it's going to be around for the long term. But yeah, so read Hello K's thread on that one. The new game, Burning Omi, we've got Epico Regal, we've got Fishes, and they also announced Cannon Crisis as well. They were talking about it in the thing. Now, Cannon Crisis, from what I can gather, I haven't downloaded it yet. I'll be honest with you, I haven't had a chance to do it yet, but what you do is you basically play of trying to get the cannon into the hole. Now, you're not actually paying to play or anything like that. I think you can pay to remove adverts, but the adverts themselves are what are actually generating the money that is then going to be burning the Omi. Now, I'm not sure the amount of actual money that's going to be taken from those adverts that burns, so I guess there's obviously, it's a business at the end of the day, and they need to pay for stuff, so they're probably going to take a certain percentage of the ad revenue and then use that to burn for Omi. Or maybe I'm wrong, maybe someone can connect me in the comments if you know, or correct me in the comments if you know how much it's going to take, but either way, it's going to be burning the Omi, which is really cool. And that leads us on to our next subject as well. Incidentally, this is the Cannon Crisis, so therefore make sure you go and check it out. And that is this. Ecomi boys, somebody needs to start a YouTube channel and show really highlight reels, collectible pictures, video content, slideshows, and all day repeat. Tune in and watch some ads, burn Omi 24/7. This makes a lot of sense. Now, I really like this idea. I even tweeted out afterwards and said to him that, yeah, this is a great idea, because you don't even have to go that far. You don't even have to go to 24/7. What you can do is somebody can just do a 10-minute video every day. And if you put an ad that's unskippable every 10 seconds, all that will happen is all the Ecomi fam join in to watch that video, yeah? That video every day. Or maybe just the same video, just one video up on a channel and just leave it. And anyone can just jump into there, and all they have to do is basically click on it and leave it running for 10 minutes. Or it'll be a little bit longer because of the adverts, obviously. But if you've got an advert every 10 seconds, that means that it will create an insane amount of revenue, probably, from YouTube themselves. You then use that YouTube money to buy Omi and burn it. Now, the issue for me is this. I really like the idea of it. I think it's got legs. I think it can really, really work. The issue is there's a couple of things. Firstly, is the implications of market manipulation. Is there any? Let me know in the comments what you think of that, because I came up with some of these ideas for burning Omi a long time ago, more than a year ago, when I first started doing this channel. I was all excited about coming up with ways to burn the Omi because I thought that's what we need to do. You know, we had there was going to be Omi to gems, and I was like, this is going to burn a butt ton of Omi. So I went and bought a load more Omi, and then they stopped the Omi to gems. And then, you know, all of these different things that I thought would be really good for the ecosystem, and then they stopped certain ones because they realised that they weren't making money on certain ones, or they weren't going to ever have any money, you know. And I did several videos on these way back in the day as well, so therefore make sure you go and check those out. I'll leave them in the comments at the end of the video or something like that, or a little card or something, so you can click on them and see if you want. One of them was straight after the Omi to gems. I explained in my view the reason they're not doing Omi to gems. Not sure how true it is, but it makes a lot of sense that when they're trying to sell something to you for Omi, if you buy it in Omi, it means that, and they burn it, which is what they said they were going to do all the time, then it means that they make no money from it, and they still have to pay licensor fees, they still have to pay for the artistry and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, there was too much going on, and that was never going to work, and now it's all been changed in relation to what I was saying as well. So I guess it means that I was unfortunately a bit right. But, you know, the thing is that if we can come up with these things to make it burn Omi, then that's great, but does it constitute market manipulation? The second thing is that I personally was thinking of doing it, but then you've got the tax implications as well, because at the end of the day, if you're making a lot of money from YouTube, because it probably would be quite a lot of money, and then you're spending that money straight away to buy Omi and then burn it, you've still got to pay the tax on that money, no matter what you say, because of the fact that obviously YouTube is regulated, etc, etc. Somewhere there's a paper trail that's going to be leading to me or whoever decides to do it, which means that you've then got to take the money to pay the tax and all that sort of stuff as well. Also, obviously, there's the trust issues. Whoever does it, you've got to make sure that they are doing it, because it's all very well the family saying, oh, you know, I'll get in, I'll watch these videos, but then if it turns out that the person isn't burning the Omi at the end of the day, then you feel a bit cheated. Now, obviously, you haven't put any money yourself into it, but, you know, it's still one of those things, isn't it? So the person has to be trusted, and I don't know, maybe we can come up with some way of doing it as an automatic function, but I think that would be really hard to do, because essentially YouTube would have to pay the money, and then YouTube, then whatever that money went into would then have to be automatically taken out to burn the Omi and blah blah blah. So it's just going to be a bit of a nightmare situation. So I personally am not going to do it, but if anyone else out there has ideas on how they want to do it, then, you know, I'm just putting the idea out there, because you know, it's there. So if somebody knows how to do it and they've got an idea of how it will work, then that's great. I think everyone would get behind it. I think everyone would join into this video, and you can make insane amounts of money on there and just burn the Omi from circulated supply. But I digress. Let's move on, and we will see. But let me know in the comments what you think, whether you think it's classed as market manipulation or not. The other thing you've got to think about is that if you put a video ad every 10 seconds, YouTube might catch on to that and might get a bit peeved off, to be honest, because they might realise that you're basically just doing it to generate money. So, you know, but then at the same time, if people are watching the adverts and that, then they're making money as well. So maybe they don't care. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, let's move on. Okay, so this is the next thing, and this is the whole thing about the main video, and that is this, Will Goes Meta. He's done a fantastic video where basically he's made his own database, and he's basically mirrored it to how he thinks the Ecomi database is going to work for the MCP. Now, the whole thing here, well, I'll let him explain it himself. Let's go over to his video now so you can see what he says.
If you take a look over here, and this is my aha moment. I only own this Golden Dragon Girl secret rare for 36 days, but because the rarity is secret rare, I can take the 36 days, multiply that by 6, so I get 216 days. I can own a Todd Batman, which is one of the craziest collectibles in the app, for 266 days, and I only get 266 points.
Okay, so there you go. You see what he says. Basically, what he's saying there is that if you hold a secret rare, for instance, the Golden Dragon Girl, it actually works out better holding it for a smaller amount of time than holding something like the Todd Batman for a massive amount of time in terms of market cap points, okay, of MCP points. So that's all he's talking about. So he's not saying about monetary valuation, because obviously the Todd is obviously valued a lot more than the Golden Dragon Girl. However, that being said, if you think about it that way, you can get a Dragon Girl and you can hold on to it, get a lot more points, and then you can use those points for future things in the app, which will give you a lot more chances and a lot more you know, abilities to make money from it based on the fact that you're using those points for raffles and, you know, swapping them for things or whatever you're doing with these points. So based on that, it seems that the Golden Dragon Girl, or any other secret rare, I suppose, is a lot better to hold if you're concerned with the MC points only. Now, obviously, MCP isn't out at the moment, so therefore, you know, don't take that as gospel or anything like that. But this was a awesome video. It's on Will Goes Meta. He's got less than 1,000 subscribers, so get over there. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Absolutely brilliant. Every single video is really in depth, and he's a real, you know, Omi connoisseur, shall we say. He really knows what he's talking about when it comes to it. There's a few things on there that are talking about, obviously, the databases and that kind of stuff as well. So if you're into that stuff, then get over to his channel. Make sure you go on there, and support Will to make sure that he gets to at least 1,000 subscribers, which he's easily going to do anyway. His videos have 4,000 or 5,000 views every single time, so I'm not actually sure why he hasn't got 1,000 subscribers yet. I can only assume that he hasn't been doing it for that long. So therefore, make sure you go over to his channel, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you like his videos so that more people get to see him, because it's absolutely brilliant. But anyway, I digress. That's it for the video today. Thank you very much for joining me. As always, don't take any of this as financial or investment advice in any way, shape or form, because as we know, crypto can go up and it can make you loads of money, or it can go down and you can completely lose your shirt. But that is essentially crypto. Thank you very much, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye for now. Thank you very much for watching this video today. Don't forget to smash that like button for me, so that way more people get to see this video. And of course, don't forget to subscribe as well with the notification bell on, so you get to see every time I release something new. Now, if I've been talking about a specific subject today and there's a video for it, then you'll find that just here. However, if you just want to see the latest video, then you'll find that just here. Thanks very much, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.